Next highest point total, Jonathan Dupree, but the Waves have really shot it very well. 19 of 36, just over 50%, right around 53%. The real story for San Diego Christian has been the fact they just can't knock down a three. They've had 12 attempts, all pretty good looks. They've only hit 3. And they'll inbound it here. It'll be number 44, James Green, going to check into the game for the first time to start this second half.
Well, Tony. I feel that the entire team for the San Diego tonight has been Jesse LeBeau. He's everywhere. He's their entire team. Every play has been somehow initiated by him.
Yeah. LeBeau only has 2 points and only 3 assists to show. We should probably have closer to maybe 7 assists. They've missed a lot of open looks that he's created, and now the Waves come out in a man-to-man defense. They ended that first half in a zone. They come out with Lauren Jackson, Dane Suttle, Taylor Darby, who knocks it away. Mike Hornbuckle on the floor. He knocks it on the floor. Ball diving out. Jackson dives to the sideline, comes away with it. Now he throws it away. Kevin Dillon has it. He'll wisely slow the pace and get a lot of new bodies out on the floor. The only returning body is LeBeau as Jackson almost knocks away. This is number 4, Craig Jackson. He puts it inside. Here's Green with it. Throws it away. No, it's Wolf who's just checked in. Paul Wolf, the 6'9" center, scores. 4 new faces on the floor for San Diego, all scrapping around and get the lead down to 10. Jackson gives off to Dane Suttle Jr. Picked up right in the mug is Craig Jackson playing some good D. Hornbuckle picks up the dribble. Back to Dane. Sut trying to work, gives over to Hornbuckle. Back to Suttle. Deep 3. Yes!
He's on the board.
I believe, if I have it correct, that is Suttle's first basket of the season. He was scoreless on Friday night, scoreless so far in the first half, and is now on the board.
Andy Shannon now the only Wave to not score this evening as LeBeau drives it. Gives off to Jackson. High stepping. Off glass. Good. Wow. Craig Jackson, who did not see any time, a 5'11" senior out of Chula Vista, California, flies through the lane, gets that to go, and the lead down to 11, and he's sporting 2 shooter sleeves. Very unconventional.
I'm going to say, it's got to be the shooter sleeves.
It always is. Suttle now in the left corner, gives off to Taylor Darby. Going to try to work on Green. A lot more defensive intensity from San Diego. Gives off. Here's Hornbuckle. Can't get by Jackson. Drives baseline. Forces it to Darby. Steps in over his left shoulder. Blocked in a foul. That's going to go against James Green. Thought he was clean on that defensive effort. But his plea will go to no avail. Into the line will step Darby for a pair of free throws. So Darby to the line. He's 3 of 4 from the field so far, and he's made his 1 free throw in this ballgame. He was, as he misses there, was scoreless, or not scoreless rather, but field goalless in that first game, as was Dane Suttle. And he was only 1 for 3 from the line, so now 2 of 5 so far from the line in these 2 exhibitions. Make it 2 of 6, misses both, can't have that. LeBeau will bring it ahead. Picked up by Jackson on the left side. Brings it to the middle between the circles, now into Wolf. Back to the basket, gives off to Jackson. He's guarded by Suttle. Brings it to the middle of the floor. Goes inside. Here's Green working on Darby. Gets him up. Puts it up. Whistle and a foul against Taylor Darby, which will send James Green to the free throw line.
The Waves had a big problem with that on Friday night also, getting a little too aggressive in the paint. It's good to see, especially with freshmen, as many freshmen as there are on the team, see them being aggressive and not letting themselves be pushed around down low in the paint, but getting themselves in trouble with the refs a little bit.
That's the second foul. They actually called that one on Dane Suttle. So that's his second foul. Got him for reaching in. The free throw is missed, so that's 3 free throws missed now on both sides. Darby missed both, so neither team taking advantage of these fouls here early. As Green's second is good, so the lead back down to 10. Lauren Jackson to run the point guard. He's picked up right at midcourt by LeBeau. Gives off to Michael Hornbuckle. Good little slip move by Moore as he gets to the rim. Wanted to set that screen, but deked it. Took off to the basket and a foul by Wolf. So some early fouls here could mean something down the stretch. Both teams could be headed for foul trouble. As 2 now so far on the Hawks, and an early one for the Waves. Hornbuckle, nice head fake, gets into the lane, puts it up, rattles around, and good. So Hornbuckle kisses that one off the glass. It's 50-38. And he gets a steal. There's Hornbuckle, hand in the passing lane, all the way to the rim, and he lays it up and in. 14-point lead now. Love to see Hornbuckle with that tenacious D for the Waves.
Nice to see him him getting involved this game too. Friday night he struggled getting himself into the offense, even into the defense really. He just kind of seemed like he was lagging. Not really back from the summer yet, but he's turned it around. He's definitely helping lead the team so far tonight.
Exactly what the coaches want, Katie.
There's LeBeau, picked up by Jackson. 15 to shoot, drives it by. He is quick, drops it in, ball knocked out of bounds, off the Waves. Look to be off of Moore or Darby. It'll be 11 to shoot for the Hawks under their basket with 16:57 to go, trailing by 14. Here's LeBeau, has a look, again wants to drive it. Gives off to Wolf, good look. Darby tries to draw the charge. That's not gonna happen at his height. 52-40 now. Darby tried to draw a charge call from the officials. That just was not gonna happen. You gotta go to the floor, and Wolf's gotta go into him a little bit more than that. Couldn't buy himself a call, and now with a 12-point lead, Jackson brings out between the circles and puts it through his wickets. Gives off to Moore. Looks for Settle on a backdoor, now has to face up. Hands off to Jackson, driving left, crosses over middle, puts it up, draws some contact. That one too strong. Pulled down by Green, and here comes LeBeau. Coach Smith wants to slow it down, signals a play, and goes a little 1-4 set. Here comes LeBeau, coming off a screen. Quick little left-handed pass into Wolf, over his left shoulder, can't get it. So again, LeBeau setting up a variety of his teammates. Here comes Darby, he's fouled on the way to the rim, and he'll go to the free throw line for 2 more. But again, LeBeau on the other side for San Diego is pretty much all they have offensively, trying to set everybody up. They just have not been able to convert this evening.
Little LeBeau is everywhere.
Little LeBeau, alliteration at its finest. It is interesting to look at. Both teams' field goal percentage almost identical. Both shooting 58 or 55% rather from the field. The difference has just been the fact that the Waves have taken 9 more shots. So they've gotten to those passing lanes. That's a result of forcing a few more turnovers as Darby connects on the first. Darby's second rattles along. Moore fights for the rebound, picks it up, gives off to Settle. Here he comes all the way to the lane, and he's fouled. He'll go to the free throw stripe, and he'll get a pair of free throws. So the Waves now trying to extend that lead, and they've gotten to the free throw line here early in this second half. Timeout on the floor with 15:59 to go. The Waves lead 53-40 here on TV 26 and PepperdineSports.com.
The Pepperdine men's basketball team would like to extend their thanks to the following businesses for their support this season. They include Coca-Cola, Primetime Shuttle, Dukes of Malibu, the Hilton Hotel, Woodford Hills, the Warner Center Marriott, the Holiday Inn of Woodford Hills, and the law offices of Hippler and Hippler.
To start the season, the home game before they hit the road in Mexico State on Monday, the 21st. In Las Cruces, and then take on one of the top ranked teams in the country, Arizona State on Sunday. They have a new game in Arizona. The schedule features Georgia, Honolulu, the Rainbow Classic, the Business and Rivers, Georgia Tech, Arizona, the 17th. Those will be at USC on December 15th. Long Beach State on December 15th. Pacific
Alongside Mimi Rothfuss and Katie Sweeney, Tony Simeone coming to you live from Firestone Fieldhouse. Waves lead 53-40 with just 16 minutes left here in the second half. Dane Settle Jr. to the line for 2 free throws. But ladies, I want to get your thoughts real quick on that cheerleading performance. I mean, that was something to be truly admired. The Wavettes, we'll call them, really got us going.
Interesting. Yeah. I love the cheerleaders. I have to say that. I live with 3 of them. But I love the cheerleaders.
So we can't trust you. You're obliged to. Mimi, your unbiased and impartial thoughts?
I've always wanted to be a cheerleader. So
I think every girl wants to be a cheerleader.
I think so.
I was always on the other side.
And you're forced to sit here with me. It's a bad punishment. It is a tough punishment.
It's all right.
Here's Dylan, gets a screen, gives off to Green. This has been an entirely new team that's played here for San Diego Christian College here, except for the one consistent man is Jesse LeBeau. He comes off a screen, brings it to the right side. Jackson right in his grill, gives off to Green. Backing in on Darby, trying to fight his way up. They're going to whistle this one off. Say he traveled, shuffled those feet. Definitely moved him on the inside.
big part of the Wave's success tonight, Tony, has been their defense. We've seen them up in people's faces nonstop the whole game. Yeah, it's going to help them along the way, especially with such a young team. They're very tenacious, and they're going to stay after the ball all the time. That's what's going to keep them in the game.
Yeah, and I think they forced a lot of outside jump shots, which, you know, they've given up some good looks, but they haven't been able to knock them down, so they made them at least try to become a jump shooting team, which clearly they are not. Jackson trying to break down LeBeau. Can't do it, though. Gives out to Hornbuckle. Give San Diego credit. They've been very tenacious on that perimeter, applying a lot of pressure. Here's Jackson. Backs it out to midcourt with just 8 to shoot. Has to do something quick. Going to get a high screen from Darby. Brings it left. Has some space to operate. Pulls up. 8-foot floater. Ooh, when he gets bailed out by a whistle, he was fouled by a Paul Wolf, who came out to contest the shot. And he'll go to the line for 2.
Jackson wide open.
Fouls number 33, Paul Wolf. Second personal.
So here's Lauren Jackson, maybe the most highly touted freshman coming in. Hasn't necessarily performed up to that billing quite yet, but certainly a lot of time in just these exhibition games. Really the freshman that you have to be impressed with, ladies, is really Keon Bell with that 21 points you two saw on Friday night.
Yeah, most definitely. He was owning the team.
He did a great job getting involved and staying involved. They needed a go-to player at the end of the game, and Hornbuckle, like we said earlier, was not stepping up. He wasn't there. He wasn't the senior leader that the team needed, and Bell was there to pick up the slack. That's something you like to see, especially coming from a freshman that at Blue and Orange Madness he got some recognition there. But before that, kind of unheard of. No one really knew who he was. So he's definitely stepped up, taken his role on the team, and becoming known as one of those go-to guys to help lead the team.
So here is LeBeau. Both free throws good from Jackson. Now they've opened up a 16-point lead. LeBeau has it, brings it towards his own bench, trying to get a screen, tries that little behind the back move that's worked a couple times, finds a way to slice into the lane. This is Wolf, a 3, the 6'9" man. Puts it in from Dana Point, California. Who knew they taught 6'9" big men to shoot like that out there? Lead now down to 13, 56-43. Jackson between the circles. Gives off to Dane Stuttle Jr. right side, picked up by number 4, Craig Jackson. Begging for a 5 call, but he never put the ball on the floor. Here comes Jackson. Nice crossover, goes up, no whistle. Ball on the floor, oh, there's Darby. Oh, misses the bunny, tipped in by Moore, though. So Corbin Moore has been very involved here. They went early, started Dennis Auger, but Moore has logged the majority of the minutes and has played pretty well on the inside for the Waves. LeBeau runs off a screen, gives off to Jackson. High pick and roll, drives it to the middle, back through the wickets. Steps in, can't get a shot off. Here's Dillon, he'll try a 3. Wow! Back-to-back threes for San Diego, and they cut the lead down to 12 as Kevin Dillon put that one in from NBA range.
Just talked about them struggling from the three-point line, and here they come.
What a turnaround, knock on wood.
I've jinxed them once again. I'm very good at that, and it's not a good thing. 58-46, a 30-second timeout was called by Coach Jason Smith, so 13:41 to go. And ladies, what do we think here with a 12-point lead for the Waves? They really have looked like they might be able to pull away here and there, but haven't really delivered the knockout blow quite yet.
They're going to have to play to the end. They can't give up anything. They're going to have to take every chance they can if they want to stay strong in this game.
Personally, I feel like the Waves go in runs. And I'm not a fan of that style of play, personally.
It's part of the inexperience, I think.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think it has to do with the freshmen, them being so many freshmen on the floor right now. I think there's 4. I believe there's 4 out there right now. They need to learn how to play.
The game it's been that way. Yeah. Just Hornbuckle.
They definitely need to learn how to play through those kind of things and play through those patches where they're having a hard time putting the ball in the basket. They need to get to the rim. You just saw Corbin Moore coming off of a rebound. They need to do stuff like that consistently because shooting from the outside is not always going to work. We saw that last year. Their shooting percentage from the outside last year was nothing to write home about.
Yeah, and when you look at it, 63% from 3 today. So if they don't get that from the outside, they don't have this 12-point lead.
Right
exactly.
now.
And then they've also allowed the Hawks to shoot 58% from the field, and that's mostly coming inside. And Nina, you touched on it. This team is not nearly as big as the Waves, so that shouldn't really be where they're excelling, but it has been. And they're just hanging around as Ryan Holmes checks back into the game for the first time in quite some time. Here's Thompson, gets a screen from Corbin Moore. Now brings it back left. He hasn't seen the floor in a little bit. Gives off to Keon Bell, who just checks in. A lot of new bodies on the floor. Thompson to the baseline, steps in, runner no good. Tipped in, give the bucket to Moore. Don't even know if he got his hands on it. Looked like it might have actually been knocked in by Osachovich, but nevertheless, Moore gets credit for the basket.
the game. LeBeau lets
So that's more 6